If you're in leadership, you should be reading Patrick Lencioni. I talk about him on the podcast all the time. He's featuring in my new book, The Rising Leader Handbook. He's just the consummate leadership thought leader, and especially around teams. His book, The Five Dysfunctions of a Team, so powerful and so important if you're either leading a team or part of a team to understand those dynamics and make it the best you can. Part of a healthy team are have these kinds of ingredients: building trust, mastering conflict, managing conflict really well, achieving commitment, so being committed to the goals. Um, they embrace accountability, so they take responsibility for things, and they are focused on results. Right. So those five things: building trust, managing and mastering conflict, achieving and keeping commitments, embracing accountability, keeping our word, and focused on results are the way to build a healthy team. Now, what if you're on a dysfunctional team? What if you're on a team that's not as healthy as you would like it to be? The question is, as Gandhi would say, can you be the change that you want to see in the world, right? Can you be the change that's needed for the team and be the example of that person? So, if trust is an issue on the team, how can you become the most trustworthy person on the team? Do you keep your word, right? Do you keep confidences? Do you have people's backs? Do they trust that you have their backs? Once you're that person, then you can start addressing whether or not other people are doing what that, so you can actually help raise the level of trust on the team by being more trustworthy. How do you deal with conflict, right? How well do you deal with that? Most of us don't do it really well. How can you get better, right? How can you learn how to be a good disagreeer, right? How can you help other people when they're disagreeing moderate conversations? Commitment, right? Do you keep your word when you say you're going to do something? Do you keep that? Like, can people trust you that you will do what you say you're going to do? And if you're not, you're going to communicate that that's not going to happen, right? So the question is, once people know that you can be counted on, it's so much easier to hold other people accountable when you hold people accountable. I've worked with several CEOs who have trouble keeping their teams on task, making their numbers, doing those kinds of things. And when I look at them and when I have them look at themselves, they see where they don't keep their words to themselves. They're late for meetings, right? It all leaks, right? So can you be that commitment that the team needs so that they can trust you, right? The next piece is accountability. When you say you're going to do something, you do it, right? When something goes wrong, do you take responsibility for your team, right? It's not them who did it. If it's your team, it's your responsibility. Can you own your mistakes, right? Again, that goes all the way down to trust. If you make a mistake and you don't get defensive and someone calls you on it and you say, you know what, I did that, that goes a long way in fostering trust. It helps in managing conflict, right? Because it's easier to conflict with someone fairly if you know you can trust them that they're being a good partner and doing the best that they can. And then the last piece is, are you committed to the results, right? Are you rowing in the same direction as the company? Are you all in, right? They say 99% bitch, 100% easy, right? So are you all in on achieving the results? When you do these things, you raise the boat, you raise the level of the of the organization. You can influence how that team becomes more and more functional. So it's Patrick Lencioni's Five Dysfunctions of a Team. Absolutely excellent book. If you read that, even if your leadership team is not going to be reading it, you'll see how you can impact your team.